This video will cover the replacement of the old style slide catch or slide stop or slide release or whatever you choose to call it with the new style slide catch that SIG is offering for the P320 that is shipping on many of the new guns, and is also you may find in a kit with a new grip module or in a new exchange kit. Here's a grip module kit. Here's a brand new grip module that I got this last week. It's a large grip module, and as you see, it has a slightly different design from the stock grip modules. Your previous grip module had, of course, just one flat right here that sat immediately below the old style slide catch. And what some people were running into is as they were getting their grip, whether they wrote it with their thumb or with their palm, they were accidentally holding down this larger slide catch without realizing it. So I had several people shoot my gun that accidentally held that down, so they weren't getting a good lock back from on the gun when the gun was empty. So to account for that, SIG has a redesigned model. It's the same style that is shipping on their submission for the modular handgun system. And let me see if I can get a little better view of this for you. There you go, right there. It has a nice little box, and instead of sweeping backwards, let's take a new release. In this case, with this grip module, it had a new slide catch assembly thoughtfully included. So let's get a look and see the difference. Open. There's some instructions, and here it is, along with one spring and I didn't look up the name for whatever that other little plastic stopper thing is right down here. So the main difference here is going to be where this slide catch comes out of the gun and goes rearward. This new one is about, it's probably a little bit more than half the height, and it goes forward. So for most guns, it actually puts the slide catch more closer to where people are used to looking for it when they're releasing. It took me a little bit of adjustment when I moved the P320 to get used to this rearward style. I actually am adjusted to it now and have zero problems manipulating P320 with this old style, but we're going to put the new style on anyway just so we can see how it's done, and I'll have to decide later on whether I like the new one or the old one. Then again, with this new style grip, they've boxed that new slide catch in there to make it much more difficult to accidentally hit that slide catch if it's something you're not intending to do. So lots of thoughts go into that, and it's great to see that SIG is actually listening to its customers. All right, in with the newer slide catch levers, they'll have this nice handy instruction sheet. So we'll go ahead and set that over there. Might have to refer to it later on, but hopefully we can get it done without. Now, first step, of course, is going to be, hopefully your gun's already clear. We'll go ahead and check it again. Nothing's in there, no magazines, anything like that. With the slide lock back, move the takedown lever forward, and then release the slide slowly. Don't let it fly off of there, because it will fly off. Don't need the slide for now. And then just go ahead and take out the FCU. Takedown lever comes out. And I usually pry up on the grip right here to get the FCU out on the FCU, the rails though. And let's go ahead and put that grip aside because we're not going to need that one anymore. Alright, here we have our fire control unit, our FCU, our frame, the actual frame of the gun. There's the serial number. And what we're trying to do, we need to get this large pin. If you look at the trigger, this is what we need to actually get out. This large pin right here that's easiest to push from the other side to get it out, which unfortunately requires moving the trigger, but you don't necessarily have to do that to get it out. That is all you need to get out to remove the old style slide catch, and then you can replace it with the new one, obviously. So first thing we can do If you can get under here, you can see if you can simply just pry up on this. I'm using a pick. We'll see if we can get lucky. And hey, there we go. Just like that. I started it. And it slides out. I'm just going to put my finger over top of this here, over top of the FCU, just to make sure that nothing unintentional flies out as I'm removing the rest of this pin here. So I'll go ahead and pull the pin the rest of the way out. Set that big guy over here. And then let the pressure on that. And now we should see the old slide catch and the spring and whatever you call the little stopper there should all come out. Just like that. That was easy, right? Alright, let's get the new one in there. To reassemble this then, we're going to set aside our old one, get our new slide catch over here, and we're going to install the new spring and the new post. So the way you do that is turn this upside down, and the post, that little guy, that goes in first. And it only goes one direction, so it makes it really, really easy for us. And you just set that post right on top of the slide catch, which has been turned upside down. The spring just sits right on top of that post, and you can press it down there, and it should actually fit in a little bit snug, so it'll actually give a good hold there onto the post. But, of course, if you turn this whole thing upside down, that will fall out, so don't turn it upside down. Instead, we're going to take the whole FCU here and turn that upside down while we assemble this. So, grab the slide catch, and we're putting the whole thing in upside down and lining it up with the large hole from the pin. Grab our pin and see if we can get it in there. Okay, looks pretty good. Just going to apply just a little bit of pressure while I'm wiggling it, and there it goes. It's dropped in. That's it. That's all you had to do to replace the slide catch. Didn't have to go down any further than that. If for some reason you had difficulty, getting this pin out, then you could push it out from the other side by removing the stock or the trigger. The best way to do that, instead of just taking this spring off, you don't need to actually remove the spring. I'm just going to lift up right here on the back of the trigger bar, pull it down slightly, and I'm just going to clear that trigger bar out of this housing so it's going to sit to the rear of where it normally sits. So it's this trigger bar here is right there. Normally it would be tucked in there. That's all I'm going to do, but only even by doing that much, you notice that has actually shows you now the back side of that pin that we were just working with. So with the back side of that pin now exposed, we're going to do the same thing. Just push it out, just like that. There's that. That, of course, frees the slide catch to come out and the spring. And actually, we can put this trigger bar back in its spot without having to remove the spring again. Just drop that back in there without having to do anything else to the thing. While I had that off, I probably should have put some more grease in that area. That's definitely one of the areas I grease. I grease there and here and some of the other trigger parts. I just like grease there because it lasts quite a bit longer. So one more time, you put this back in here. The post goes in first on the upside down slide catch. Whole FCU comes upside down. Whoop. Goes in there. We'll see if we can find the hole. All right, there's our hole. Push the pin in. If you have to slightly wiggle this, you might have to do that just to make sure you're perfectly aligned. That's in. That's all there is to it. Now the rest of the reassembly. Into the grip, I usually put the trigger in first. Turn these lights off here, get you a better view. Trigger goes in first. Maybe you'll get a better view. And the FCU goes down and pushes back to the rear, just like that. Sometimes I'll take an edge of the table. If I have to, just press lightly on there, or you can tap forward with like a brass hammer or something like that if you have to. The slide catch fits there nicely inside this new little ledge. Oh, don't forget to put the takedown lever back in. That's what I was trying to do. Takedown lever goes in with the angled part towards the takedown safety. Takedown safety clicks out of the way. That pushes in with the takedown safety, or the takedown lever still all the way to the rear. Lock the slide back. Reset takedown safety lever. And there we go. We now have a functional P320 with our nice little new grip frame with the ledge on it. And that's all there is to it.